Hello friends, how are you? Today prepare yourself to watch this thriller sci-fi movie and how fun it is when you watch your favorite movie. It will be a recap that you will enjoy watching again and again. It will compel, so let's start today's interesting recap. So we see at the beginning of the story.
Scientist who is in the middle of his experiment. He is similar to strange device into his body, after which he undergoes a sudden transformation with his eyes turning blue. The scene and cuts to a young delivery man Lang Jun who is working his night shift. While driving through the road of Shengyi City, he hears the news of a former archer named Yang Xiaochan who has disappeared. Mysteriously, it turns out to be the fifth puzzling disappearance that months in the city. Just then Lang Jun receives a call from his uncle's aunt who wishes him a happy birthday. He also tells him about a small cake which he has left outside his apartment door. Not long after, Lang Jun comes across an overturned truck in the middle of the empty highway. He quickly gets off his vehicle and goes to check for any survivors. In the back of the truck, he notices an unconscious man whose veins are turning visibly black. Lang Jun approaches the man for help, but the same unknown device from the earlier scene is transferred into his body, causing him to undergo an instant transformation. Shortly after, an armed force from a secret research organization called Senjutheon shows up at the scene. The gang is led by a female captain, and they proceed to apprehend the transforming Lang Jun. However, he soon turns into a giant werewolf and starts attacking them. The gang opens fire toward the creature, but the normal bullets don't seem to have any effect on him. After taking down all the gang members, the werewolf charges towards the captain. In the nick of time, she loads an inhibiting bullet and shoots him down. This appears to have some effect on the werewolf, but it's still not sufficient to capture him, as he jumps into the sea and flees. The next morning, Lang Jun limbs out of the sea and heads back home in a very weakened state. As soon as he arrives, he starts consuming food, appearing as if he has been hungry for days. However, it soon makes him feel nauseous, prompting him to throw it all up. He also looks at himself in the mirror and, startled to see a reflection of a werewolf, in an attempt to freshen up, he gets himself into the bathtub and falls asleep for a while. Upon waking up, he notices some change in himself. His listening ability seems to have improved greatly, as he can hear the TV news playing in a distant house, maybe the neighbors just in a hole, and has the volume on 11. Later that day, Lang Jun faces repercussions at work for abandoning the delivery truck in the middle of the highway. Just then, the boss hurls a can towards him, but Jun immediately deflects it with enhanced speed and power, even cracking a wall. Not wanting to create any more of a scene, he then walks away from the workplace. Subsequently, while strolling in the street, Lang Jun notices a little girl crossing the road. She is almost hit by a fast-moving truck, but he uses his newfound agility to rescue her. Just then, he notices a batch on the girl's dress, triggering a recollection of a childhood incident. It appears that he was bullied by a group of boys when his female friend Xiao Yu intervened and funded them off. As a result of this memory, he decides to visit Xiao Yu, who is now a skilled boxer. Upon arriving at the bar singer in Atlanta, Yu notices her in the midst of a fight. Xiao Yu proves to be a great and strong boxer, which is evident by how she easily defeats her opponent. But as she celebrates her victory, the frustrated opponent attacks her from behind. Just as she is about to fall from the ring, Lang Jun catches her in his arms. Seeing his heroic rescue, the son of boxing gym zone, or Wunang, challenges him for a boxing duel, which he agrees to. However, Lang Jun, being a beginner, gets quickly knocked down. Meanwhile, the captain and/or Chief Xiao Yong is keeping a close eye on Lang Jun from his monitor. Through their conversation, we learn that the scientist shown in the beginning of the movie is none other than Lang Jun's own father, Shoyoung, and structured to capture Lang Jun because he is the last chance for their successful experiment. In the next scene, Lang Jun regains his consciousness and finds himself at Xiao Yu's house. When she shows up, he notices a bandage on her cheek that has a sign of Senjutheon. As their conversation unfolds, she shows him a picture of her brother, who has mysteriously disappeared for a few days. Upon looking at the photo, Lang Jun recalls that is the same person whom he saw in the back of the overturned truck earlier. This makes them realize that her Brother is now under the custody of Samuel Dawn. Before they can devise a rescue plan, Lin Jun senses the arrival of Sanju Dawn gang members outside the house. As a result, the duo quickly runs away through the back door. They then hide under the assailant's car and attach a tracking device under their vehicle. After the gang departs, Xiaoyu wonders why they're after them. In response, Lin Jun tells her that they're behind him because they want the unfamiliar device which is currently inside his body. He also speculates that all of this has something to do with her father Sao. Lin Jun decides to meet Uncle Zan, who is his father's best friend. Following this, he heads to a medical institute where Uncle Zan works as a biochemist. As soon as he arrives there, he notices the people running out of the building due to a fire in the biochemistry lab. Concerned about his uncle's well-being, Lin Jun rushes to the lab only to see him unconscious on his table. He hurriedly helps him out of the lab, successfully preventing him from any harm. When the uncle wakes up, Lin Jun inquires about San Yuan, but the latter pretends to be unaware about it. Later, Lin Jun is walking back home when he senses someone trailing him. Waiting for the right moment, he apprehends the pursuer, who turns out to be Wenag. He takes him to Xiao Yu's place to carry out the further interrogation, and then reveals himself to be a hacker who wants to retrieve more information about Samuel Dawn. He goes on to share everything he knows about this mysterious organization. Turns out that said New Leon is running an offshore oil business as well as trading high-risk illegal chemical weapons with some overseas military organization. He also discloses that Lin Jun's father and his uncles on you to work for the same organization, focusing on cross-device genetic research. According to Wenang, all the people are offered the opportunity to play a game before they go missing. Hearing this, Xiaoyu confirms that her brother also received the same offer. The next day, Xiaoyu is alone on the beach where Lin Jun approaches her. She confides in him about how her brother worked hard to pay her boxing fees. She also believes that he agreed to send Yu Leon's offer for money. In response, Lin Jun consoles her, reassuring her that he will bring her brother back. Later that evening, the two friends are walking back home when they're intercepted by Xiao Yong and his henchmen. They demand that he accompany them, or else they will shoot Xiaoyu. Thinking about her safety, Lin Jun agrees to go with them regardless. Xiaoyu can't give up that easily itself. She starts chasing their vehicles. She takes a shortcut and manages to catch up to a vehicle with Lin Jun. She then uses her boxing prowess to fight the guards before driving away with her friend. In the aftermath, the duo drive to Uncle Zan's lab seeking answers. This time, Uncle Zan finally admits that he and Lin Jun's father used to work for Samuel Dawn. It details their genetic research, explaining how they extracted human-compatible genes from wild wolves to create a special substance named Palisci. The substance could modify human genes and cure any kind of disease, but when Lin Jun's mother passed away, his father became so depressed that he didn't want to continue working. Despite this, he was forced by Samuel Leon, and they even locked him inside a laboratory to work. One fateful day, the lab caught fire, which resulted in his tragic demise. This revelation infuriates Lin Jun, and he vows to avenge his father's death, but Uncle Zan tries to stop him, asserting that Samuel Dawn is too powerful. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the intrusion of this Leon gang, who takes no time, and gunning down on costs are filled with anger. Lin Jun transforms himself into a black werewolf and engages in combat with the henchmen. Amidst this commotion, the captain shoots him with an inhibitor, reverting him to his normal state. Before they can get him, Xiaoyu pushes Lin's unit of the window and starts fighting the assailants, earning him some time to fully right Dad Wound, and shows up and drives Lin Jun away from the scene. That night, Lin Jun sits alone on the beach mourning the loss of his loved ones. He also looks at a locket given to him by his father that consists of a picture of him with his dad. Later, when Language shows his locket to Wenag, he says that it serves as a key to something. After a while of conducting some thorough research, Mooning unveils that the symbol on the locket is a map leading to a secret location. As a result, they set out for the specified location, which is revealed to be an abandoned apartment. Descending to its basement, and they come across numerous werewolf scratch marks. Are exploring the area, Lin Jun discovers a locked suitcase hidden inside a closet. He uses his locket as a key to open it and finds a tape recorder inside. Upon playing it, he hears his father narrating the creation of his special drug intended to save his ailing mother. First of Var, he initiated the experiment on himself and experienced a lot of side effects. As a result, he started working on its refinement, but his mother succumbed to her illness before he could perfect it. In the aftermath, Zhang Lian seized the drug from him and began to use it as a lethal weapon, causing numerous fatalities. He tried everything he could to put an end to the company's illicit activities, but failed. Thus, he urges Lang Jun to fulfill his incomplete mission. On the other hand, Shou Young and his team investigate Uncle Long's lab and stumble upon the same special drug created by Lang Jun's father. While looking at it, Xiao Young is suddenly attacked and killed by an unseen assailant. In the next scene, Lang Jun and Wu Name pinpoint the Sendu Lian's highly guarded headquarters located in a shipyard. Mooning hacks the map of the entire area and uncovers a secret air duct's passage for infiltration. Meanwhile, inside that quarters, Chao Yu is locked up in a sewer during her confinement. She hears there's voice from another cell. She hurriedly looks out through a small glass window and sees her brother, who is in a weak state. She tells him to stay strong, assuring the Lang Jun will come to rescue them. A short while later, Lang Jun and Wounding crawl through the air duct and make their way inside the headquarters. As soon as they jump out of the duct, they're ambushed by a group of guards. However, they are no match in front of the formidable Lang Jun. He uses his werewolf power to subdue all the guards one after another. Following this, Lang Jun heads in search of Chao Yu Wound and goes to gather the necessary evidence to expose Sun Nuliad's illegal activities. Not long after, Lang Jun reaches Cher Yu's cell, but he does not have the keys to open the door. While searching for them, he is approached by Uncles the Hans, who is surprisingly alive. He claims that he used Palisai and got revived. Amidst their conversation, a video plays on a monitor revealing an altercation between Uncle Song and Lang Jun's father. In the past, it becomes evident that Uncle Song intended to collaborate with company members to create chemical weapons, while Lang Jun's father opposed to this plan. In a fit of anger, Uncles unlocked Lang Jun's father inside the lab, leaving him to be engulfed by fire. This revelation makes Lang Jun realize that Uncle Song is the mastermind behind all of this. Now that he is finally exposed, Uncle Song transforms himself into a giant werewolf to attack him, and Lang Jun also follows suit. After this, the two werewolves engage in a fierce one-on-one battle, with Uncle Zod exhibiting greater strength as they clash. Wu Nang arrives at Shou Yu Sol with the key and releases her as well as her brother. After sharing an emotional hug with her brother, Chao Yu instructs him to escape while she decides to go help Lang Jun. Following this, she bravely jumps on Uncle Zod and ties his neck with a sick rope. Lang Jun uses this opportunity to pull the rope, hanging him in the air. Shou Yu then grabs an electric cable and electrocute the end, resulting in her ultimate demise. Werewolf Alarm mode. In the final scene, Lang Jr. seen reading a book titled The War of Werewolf. Meanwhile, a news report